In the summer of 2020, we put together a team for a very, very specific purpose. And it was to look at the Pakistani Muslim rape mafia that had been operating in Telford. Of course, many people had known about this for many years. And until the Daily Mirror story, I think it was in 2018, it wasn't known widely. But it was known in those communities. And it was known by the police. It was known by the social services. And it was known by people in the council. But it was kept quiet. Once that story broke and the general public knew about it, that story had to be told. So we put together a team. And this team was very unusual. It was made up of passionate activists who had no experience of surveillance, no experience in the military, but that cared enough to take their time and their effort and invest it in looking at these criminal gangs. But we also had experts. We had former undercover soldiers. We had intelligence officers who'd worked in Northern Ireland. We had ex-soldiers and we had journalists, all working on this project. And while people were worrying about COVID, while people were worrying about getting the jab and putting on what coloured face mask, that team was crawling about in the shadows in Telford, watching these disgusting, vile, criminal rape gangsters. We were in the restaurants. We were tracking them. We were following their cars. We were watching their movements, seeing what patterns they set. We were talking to survivors. And again, when you talk to these women about what they've been through, and you see the damage that these vile rapists have done to the souls of these women, and these women are strong, these women are tough, and these women are survivors, but these women are damaged by what they've been through. How could they not be? Being raped multiple times, how could they not be damaged by what these monsters have done? And those women bravely stood up, pointed the finger at these criminal gangsters who live amongst us, and took a stand. And took a stand to see some form of justice. See, these men will never see trial. These criminals will never be brought before the courts. We wish we could achieve that. We had evidence. We had tons of evidence, hundreds of pages around us, hundreds of hours of interviews, hundreds of hours of surveillance footage. But we knew that the British justice system wasn't interested in these girls, wasn't interested in prosecuting Pakistani Muslim rape gangsters. So our objective was to shine a light on these criminals and show them for what they were. Vile, filthy, disgusting animals. And they have businesses all the way around Telford. And if you live in Telford, I suggest that you stop using these businesses. You know who they are. You've seen our films. Stop buying their food. Stop using their businesses. And if you're in the drug scene, stop buying their drugs. So the objective was to shine a light on these criminals. And then, of course, once the evidence was gathered, the hits went in. The camera teams went in and they filmed these individuals. And when the boot was on the other foot, they weren't so tough and bullying and bombastic when Tommy Robinson was standing in front of them. And on the 27th of this month is the next episode, episode 5, a young Sikh lady. Because the biggest victims of grooming in this country have been white English girls. But there's also been a massive problem with Sikh girls being raped by these rape gangs as well. Never call it grooming, it's always rape. It's always horrendous abuse. These men are vile, they're disgusting, they're violent, they're bullying, they're manipulative, they're intimidating. And they need to be stopped. So on the 27th of January, what we want tens of thousands of people to turn up in Telford. 1 o'clock at the train station. We're going to then march to a location to show the film, talk about what's happened, make some speeches, and point a very bright light on the people in Telford who have been hiding in plain sight and who absolutely need to be exposed. So 27th of January, Telford, 1 o'clock at the train station. See you all there.